A drunk stumbles into a cab, slaps a $20 bill into the driver's hand, and slurs, "I want to get screwed." The cabbie nods, drives him to the suburbs, and points to a townhouse. "There you go, buddy." The drunk staggers up to the door, pounds on it, and yells, "I want to get screwed." A woman's voice from inside calls out, "Slip $100 under the door." The drunk eagerly shoves a $100 bill under the door and waits. Nothing happens. After a while, he pounds on the door again. "I want to get screwed." The voice replies, "What, again?" Two policemen are on patrol at 4 a.m. when they spot an older man wobbling down the street, barely able to walk in a straight line. They stop him and ask, "Sir, where are you coming from at this hour?" The man, slurring his words, grins. "The best place in the world. My favorite bar, great drinks, beautiful women. Friendlier than the next." He winks at the officers. One cop chuckles. "Sounds like a fun night. And where exactly are you heading now? Shouldn't you be in bed?" The man shakes his head. "Sleep? No way. I'm on my way to a lecture." "A lecture?" The officers exchange skeptical looks. "At 4 a.m.? About what?" The man sighs. "Alcohol addiction, the dangers of smoking, and proper social behavior." One officer scoffs. "Come on, who the hell is giving a lecture on that at this time of night?" The man groans. "Tell that to my wife." A man sits at a bar after work looking stressed. He sighs and tells the bartender, "I'm not sleeping well. Every night I have nightmares about a monster under my bed, but I'm too embarrassed to seek help." A nearby patron overhears and chimes in. "I'm a psychiatrist. I can help. These are just dreams, nothing real. A few sessions and you'll be fine." He hands the man a card. "Give me a call." A few weeks later, they run into each other at the bar again. The psychiatrist asks, "Hey, how's the nightmare situation? I never heard from you." The man grins. "Oh, it's all good. The bartender helped me." The psychiatrist scoffs. "The bartender? You needed a trained professional. What could he possibly do that I couldn't?" The man shrugs. "He told me to saw the legs off my bed." I want to share a personal experience about drinking and driving. This might save you the cost and embarrassment of a DWI. As you know, sometimes people have unexpected run-ins with the law, especially after a social session with family or friends. Well, recently it happened to me. I was out at a party, had more than a few margaritas, and polished off a lovely bottle of red wine at a fantastic Italian restaurant. I felt relaxed, but I also knew I was probably over the limit. So I did something I've never done before. I took a taxi home. On the way, we passed a police roadblock. They waved us through without a second glance. After all, I was in a taxi. I made it home safe and sound. No hassle, no worries. That's when I realized something shocking. I've never driven a taxi before, no idea where I got it, and now that it's in my garage, I don't know what to do with it. If you need a ride, let me know. Three guys are drinking at a bar, bragging about their favorite pubs. The first guy says, "This place is great, but back home in Glasgow, there's a wee pub where the landlord treats the locals right. Buy 4 drinks, and he'll buy you the 5th. The second guy scoffs. "That's nothing. At my local in London, the barman buys your 3rd drink after you buy 2. The third guy leans in with a grin. "Pfft, amateurs. Back home at my favorite pub, the moment you walk in, they buy you a drink. Then another, and another. As many as you want. And when you've had enough, they take you upstairs and make sure you get laid all on the house." The first 2 guys raise their eyebrows. "Come on," one of them says. "No bar's that good." The third guy nods. "I swear, every word is true." The second guy smirks. "Yeah, and this actually happened to you?" The third guy shrugs. "Well, not me personally, but my sister plenty of times." A young lady was enjoying a sunny day at the beach, confidently strolling along in her bikini. As she relaxed on her towel, she couldn't help but notice an old man nearby staring at her intently. Feeling uncomfortable, she decided to move to a different spot. But to her annoyance, she soon realized the old man had followed her, still staring. Frustrated, she decided to take action and filed a complaint. The case went to court, and the judge asked the old man, "Sir, why were you staring at this young woman?" The old man, without missing a beat, responded, "Your Honor, I was just being polite. I only looked at the parts she had covered." A businessman in New York decides to stop at a bar for a drink. Standing outside is a nun, holding a tin cup. As he drops a few bucks in, she launches into a fiery sermon. "Alcohol is the root of all evil. It's tearing society apart." She goes on, condemning drinking and those who partake. Annoyed, the man finally says, "Listen, sister, I work hard. I provide for my family, volunteer, and donate to charity, but after a long day, I like a drink. That doesn't make me a bad person." The nun hesitates. "I see your point, my son, but alcohol is a powerful demon. Once it touches your lips, you're doomed." The man smirks. "Have you ever even tried alcohol?" "Of course not," she gasps. "Then how can you judge it? One drink won't turn you into a sinner." The nun ponders this. "I suppose, but I could never be seen in such a place." The man thinks. "Fine. I'll bring you a drink out here. That way you can try it without anyone knowing." The nun nods. "Very well, but put it in my tin cup." The man walks inside, sets the cup on the bar, and says, "2 scotches on the rocks. One in this tin cup, please." The bartender sighs and shakes his head. Is that darn nun out there again? A newlywed couple had only been married for 2 weeks. The husband, though deeply in love, was itching to hit the town with his old buddies. "Honey, I'll be right back," he said casually. "Where are you going, Snuggle Muffin?" his wife asked. "Just to the bar, my sweet. Gonna grab a beer." She smiled sweetly. "Oh, you want a beer, love bug?" She opened the fridge and proudly displayed 25 different brands from 12 countries. Germany, Holland, Japan, India, you name it. They had it. The husband hesitated. Yeah, but at the bar they have frozen glasses." Before he could finish, she whipped open the freezer and pulled out a frosty beer mug so cold it made her shiver. "You want a frozen glass, Sugar Plum?" The husband swallowed hard. Yeah, but at the bar they have hors d'oeuvres." "Oh, you mean like these?" She spun around, opened the oven, and pulled out 5 trays of appetizers. Chicken wings, pigs in blankets, stuffed mushrooms, pork strips, the works. Now sweating, the husband made one last attempt. "But, baby cakes. At the bar, there's swearing. You know, dirty words and all that." His wife gave him the sweetest smile yet. "Oh, you want dirty words, Snookums?" She leaned in and whispered, "Drink your bloody beer from your stupid frozen mug and eat your darn snacks because you're married now and you ain't going anywhere." "Got it, moron." The husband nodded. "Yes, dear. And that's how he learned the true meaning of happily ever after." A bachelor walks into a bar and notices a stunning woman who comes in regularly, always alone. After 2 weeks of watching her sip her drink in solitude, he finally makes his move. Despite his best charm, she politely shuts him down every time. "No, thank you," she says with a smile. But the connection is undeniable. Their conversations are effortless. The chemistry is real, yet no matter what, she never takes things further. Frustrated, he finally blurts out, "Why won't you come home with me?" She leans in and says, "This might sound old-fashioned, but I'm keeping myself pure until I meet the man I love." The bachelor blinks. "Wow, that must be really difficult." She shrugs. "Not really, but it's driving my husband crazy." The eaglets were getting ready to leave the nest and take their first flight when their grandfather swooped in for a visit. He perched on the edge of the nest to wish them well. Curious, the eaglets started asking questions. "Grandpa, what's your favorite thing to eat?" one asked. "Oh, that'd have to be salmon, or maybe trout. One day soon you'll find out for yourselves." A granddaughter tilted her head. "What do you usually eat?" "Rabbits are always good. Squirrels, too. Have you seen squirrels?" "Sure, they run around the branches all the time." "Keep an eagle eye out then," their grandfather advised. "An eagle eye," a smart-mouthed grandson quipped, only to get smacked. "What about birds? Do we eat birds?" another eaglet asked. "Some, yes. Seagulls are easy to catch," the old eagle explained. Then a grandson spoke up. "What about those big white birds with the long legs? They live by rivers and streams. Do you eat those?" Grandfather nodded. "You mean egrets?" "Yeah. Have you eaten a lot of those?" The old eagle sighed, gazing into the distance. "Egrets. I've had a few. But then again, too few to mention." A bear, a moose, a fox, a wolf, and a snail were sitting around a table playing cards when the bear let out a grumble. "Guys, I'm starving. Someone go get some chocolate, or whatever." The moose shook his head and gestured at the fox. The fox groaned, slamming his paw on the table. "Why me? Let the wolf go." Before the argument could escalate, the snail spoke up. Guys, no need to fight. I'll go." The bear smiled, handing the snail a few rolled-up bills. "Thanks, buddy, and grab something to drink while you're at it." The snail nodded, took the money, and started making his way toward the door. Half an hour passed, then an hour and a half. Finally, the bear slammed his cards down. "You know what? I think that little bastard took the money and ran." From near the door, a tiny but furious voice yelled back, "If you're going to start insulting me, I'm not going at all." A man runs into the doctor's office, shouting and wincing in pain. "Doctor, please, you've got to help me. I've been stung by a bee." The doctor nods calmly. "Don't worry, I'll put some cream on it." The man looks confused. "That won't help. The bee's probably miles away by now." The doctor sighs. "No, I mean I'll put cream on the spot where you were stung. Oh, that was in my backyard." The doctor rubs his temples. No, I mean, which part of your body?" "Oh, my finger, it really hurts." "Which one?" asked the doctor. The man throws up his hands. "How should I know? All the bees look the same to me." A man settles into his window seat on a plane when another man sits down next to him, placing a black Labrador retriever in the middle seat. The first man glances at the dog and asks, "Why is he allowed on the plane?" The second man smiles. "He's a DEA drug-sniffing dog. His name's Sniffer, and he's the best in the business. I'll show you once we're airborne." Once the plane levels out, the agent leans over. "Watch this." He gives a command. "Sniffer, search!" Sniffer hops down, trots down the aisle, and sits next to a woman for a few seconds. Then he returns and places one paw on the agent's arm. "Good boy," the agent says, then turns to the first man. "That woman has marijuana. I'll note her seat number so authorities can handle it when we land." "Impressive," the first man says. The agent sends Sniffer out again. The dog sniffs around, stops beside a man, sits for a moment, and then returns, placing 2 paws on the agent's arm. "That guy has cocaine," the agent whispers. "Same deal. Authorities will be waiting for him? This is amazing," the first man says. The agent commands, "Sniffer, search." One last time. Sniffer walks the aisle, sniffs carefully, then suddenly sprints back, jumps onto the seat, and starts pooping everywhere. The first man recoils in horror. "What the heck is going on?" The agent, now sweating, mutters, "He just found a bomb."